All right, welcome back. Today, we're jumping right into a classic dilemma: how to pick the right tool for the job. We're going to put two huge platforms, MixCertificate and Canva, head to head to figure out which one is best for creating and sending out certificates. But first, let's start with a question that kind of gets to the heart of the whole thing. Are you using a design tool for what's actually a management job? Just think about that for a second, because it perfectly frames the problem we're talking about. It's not about making one thing look good. It's about managing a whole process, especially when you need to do it at scale. So let's get into our tale of two tools. On one side, we've got the powerhouse that everybody knows and loves, Canva. It's the go-to for pretty much any creative thing you can think of. And on the other side, we have a specialized platform that was built for one very specific task. And here's where you see the core difference right away. Canva is that amazing do-it-all graphic design tool for a million different projects. MixCertificate, on the other hand, is completely laser-focused. It was built from the ground up for one thing and one thing only: creating, sending, and, this is key, verifying digital certificates. And this, right here, is the most crucial point. Look, anyone can design one good-looking certificate. That's the easy part. The real challenge, the real headache, is when you have to create and send out hundreds, maybe even thousands of personalized certificates. That's when a general-purpose tool really starts to show its cracks. So let's put this to a real-world test. We're going to run a little head-to-head time trial that we're calling the 40-hour bottleneck. And trust me, this is where you'll see just how wildly different these two approaches really are. Okay, so here's the task, and it's super common for anyone running a course, an event, or managing HR. You need to create and send out 500 personalized certificates. Every single one needs a unique name, maybe some other unique info too. So, how would you do this in Canva? Well, first, you design a beautiful template, no problem there, but then, oh boy, you have to manually duplicate that template 499 times. Then you have to open every single file to type in a new name. And to top it all off, you manually download each one and attach it to 500 different emails. You can feel the carpal tunnel just thinking about it. And the grand total for all that manual labor? Over 40 hours. Let that sink in. That's an entire work week gone. A full week spent just copying, pasting, and hitting send over and over again. Imagine what else you could have done with that time. Now, let's flip the script and look at the MixCertificate process. You still design one template, but then instead of all that duplicating, you just upload a simple spreadsheet with all 500 names. You click one button that says Generate All, and poof, the system automatically sends every single personalized certificate for you. And the time it takes to do all of that? 15 minutes. I'm going to say that again, 15 minutes. We just went from an entire 40-hour work week down to the time it takes to grab a cup of coffee. The difference is it's absolutely staggering. And we all know time is money, right? So if you put a dollar value on that 40 hours of work, even at a low rate, you're looking at over $800 in labor costs. With the specialized tool, the cost is just a few bucks. This really shines a light on the hidden cost of using the wrong tool for the job. But, speed and efficiency are only half of the story. Let's talk about something that's arguably even more important: the credibility gap. How do you actually prove that the certificates you're sending out are the real deal, and not just a pretty picture anyone could fake in Photoshop? And this is such a critical question today. In a world where any digital file can be edited in seconds, how does anyone, whether it's an employer, a client, or a university, how do they actually trust that the certificate they're looking at is legitimate? Well, MixCertificate tackles this problem head-on with a built-in verification system. Every certificate it generates automatically gets a unique ID and a scannable QR code. So anyone can just pull out their phone, scan the code, and instantly be taken to a public, tamper-proof webpage that confirms everything: who it was issued to, who issued it, and when. It's basically credibility on autopilot. And what about Canva? Well, the answer here is pretty simple. There is no verification system at all. A certificate made in Canva is just a design file, like any other picture. There's no built-in way to prove it's authentic, period. So why is this such a big deal? Well, because without verification, the people receiving your certificates can't actually prove their achievement is real. The value of your credential immediately drops. The risk of someone faking it goes way up, and you end up wasting your own time answering emails from people trying to manually check if a certificate is legit. Okay, let's pull all this together and put it into a really clear at-a-glance comparison. This is where you can really see the two paths just completely split. I mean, this table pretty much says it all, doesn't it? When you look at the core jobs of certificate management, things like bulk creation, automatic sending, and verification, MixCertificate was literally built for it. Canva, because it's a general design tool, just doesn't have those features. It's not a knock on Canva, it's just not what it was made to do. So after all of that, the big question is, which tool is actually right for you? Because this isn't really about one tool being better than the other in all cases. It's about making the smart choice for what you actually need to do. So based on everything we've looked at, MixCertificate is going to be your go-to if you're issuing certificates on a regular basis, if you need to personalize a bunch of them at once, and most importantly, if you need them to be verifiable and credible. If you value your time and your professional reputation, this is the tool designed for that job. On the other hand, Canva is still a fantastic choice if you're just making a couple of certificates once in a blue moon. You know, if they're for something fun and internal where verification doesn't matter and you really don't mind the manual work, it can totally get the job done, especially if you're already paying for it for other design stuff. And that really brings us to the final thought. This whole thing isn't just about saving time or money. It's about trust. When you issue a certificate, you are putting your name, your brand's reputation on the line. So the final question really isn't about features. It's this: how much is your credibility worth?